Hey, what's going on, you crazy kitty cats? It's Elder here. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to say that I've been getting a lot of complaints about not getting notified when I upload, or getting notified very late when I upload. Right next to that subscribe button, make sure you have the bell on and you should get notified when I upload. Otherwise, on scheduled upload days, I should be uploading at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that out of the way, today, we're going to be looking into the mysterious ghost ships that continue to wash ashore in Japan. Now, if you haven't heard of this phenomenon, the concept is quite simple. Since 2010, and some documents going back even further, ships have been continually washing ashore on Japan's west coast, seemingly out of nowhere. And the numbers show an upward trend, with as many as 60 boats per year coming from, well, nowhere. And there hasn't been anyone claiming responsibility for them. Now, if this prospect in itself isn't strange enough, the ships are generally full of bodies that have died from strange, unknown causes. Many governments have looked into this, and there have even been official statements, but no one concretely knows why. Is this some kind of highly unlikely strange coincidence? Or are there more sinister forces at work here? As I've said before, the sight of a hulking mass of decaying vessel has become somewhat of a common one. On the west coast of Japan alone, there have been over 100 vessels in the last 10 years that have washed ashore. But sadly, there have been no survivors on any of these ghost ships to tell their story. And that's not even factoring in all the vessels that could still be at sea. One of the first vessels to make its way through the foggy sea and onto Japanese shorelines could be quite telling. The ship had writing in Korean and what appeared to be a Korean flag on the back. Furthermore, the food still on the vessel was common Korean food. The reoccurring nature of cases just like this one has prompted an extensive ongoing investigation from the Japanese authorities. With the body count being so high, and virtually no one claiming these vessels or people, they're trying to get answers. At the very least, trying to sort out potential causes of death, as official autopsies have generally been quite unsuccessful. I will say the bodies are generally extremely mangled and out of place, and there are very few pictures of them due to the nature of it. I think one noteworthy thing about many of these ghost ships is the prevalence of food still being on board, which in my mind only adds to extreme possibility and cuts out some of the more mundane explanations. If these were simply North Korean detractors trying to escape, they could simply try to get to the much closer South Korean shores. And if these were people just simply lost at sea, you would think they would use up food supplies to extend their lives as long as possible. More on this later. So what the hell could be going on here? No official statements from any government claiming anything about these ships, and the extremely mysterious conditions surrounding these has plagued Japanese authorities for years. So I set out to get answers. Theories on why these ghost ships continue to wash ashore, as well as theories on the people's causes of death, are, well, quite plentiful, and range from natural to supernatural. The first and most prevalent theory perpetuated by some news organizations is the fact that this could be fishermen from a starved North Korea trying for larger catches and simply getting lost in the vast ocean, never to be seen again. However, the mangled nature of the bodies found, as well as the prevalence of there still being food on these vessels, takes away from this theory slightly, and some Japanese officials, as well as many internet investigators, say this theory just leaves far too many holes for it to fit here. Some Japanese officials say that it could be people trying to escape their homeland, wherever that may be, and they do not believe that all of these ships necessarily come from North Korea, that this could just be some kind of immigration tactic to try and get to Japan. But again, this doesn't account at all for the mangled nature of the bodies, and it would be much more simple to try to get to the ever closer South Korea and not risk these terrible deep sea conditions on boats obviously not made for it. Maybe the most poignant theory I came across was from some people I met in an online forum, saying that this could be some kind of sick punishment from North Korean officials who refuse to say anything on the matter, and that they're potentially putting these boats of dead bodies, or potentially in some cases live humans, to either clean up the country or punish North Korean detractors and criminals. This would account for the mangled nature of the bodies, and if they place them out there, the current could potentially naturally pull the boat to Japanese shores, practically completely dead. However, detractors of this theory say that this is unfounded, and the North Korean government wouldn't do something like this, even with their reputation. The last theory gets, well, slightly stranger. Without getting into too much detail on any specific version of these claims, the basic layout is this: that these ghost ships aren't coming from North Korea at all, whether placed there by otherworldly forces or made up entirely in an attempt to demonize North Korea, basically using this as some form of propaganda to make North Korea seem worse than they already are, to potentially make it more logical in the eyes of people to have some kind of war with them or take some kind of action. The main pioneers of this theory don't seem interested in talking, however, an interesting amount of people believe this. So what do you guys think is going on here? Is this just some strange phenomenon that, without context, seems extremely hard to solve? Or are there more sinister implications coming from this? Are all of these boats coming from the same place, or is that just what is assumed? Be sure to tell me what you guys think in the comments section down below, and if you believe any of these theories yourselves. Also, feel free to research this phenomenon and come up with some theories on your own, and be sure to share them with me. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I have an incredibly large video coming up, and I'm still waiting for a few things to fall into place before I can complete it. All I can say is, I'm very excited, and you guys should be too. Be sure to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want more content like this in the future, and ring that bell to get notified when I upload. All of you guys are amazing that made it to the end. I hope you all have a very great start to your week. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace.